This is so beautiful. I am back. I am doing actually a next reaction. And this one is like exciting because I am going into a field I haven't been before. But going into fields, not many people go or don't dare to go there. I learned from Ethel to go there, to open up these fields. And I know for sure the most listening here, watching here, are so totally ready to go to these places, these fields, because um, I dare to just put that out that I can say a lot of you out there know these places or you have been there at one time or one part of your life. And that makes the difference. And I can say that also because it was an amazing adventure. It was an amazing experience to be on Ethel Cain's concert here in Zurich, Switzerland. And the first really deep, deep touching part was to see all the people, the kind of people who come to see Ethel Cain. Very special. And yeah, it was also like, because I know that a lot of people watching from England, United Kingdom, from USA, America, from South America, Brazil. Hey, everybody. Then a few other countries which are here too. And so far, I thought, okay, nobody realized yet that this is coming from Switzerland. And then one person, hi Sven, Sven came up to me, and I was standing there waiting for to get in, and in the queue. And then he came up to me and said, "You are the one. You do these channel," and that was beautiful also to be recognized. And the people were. It impressed me deeply. Each one of them was for its own kind, and the energy from them special. And I was standing there and I thought for myself, why can't the whole world be full with people like that? Would be beautiful. But we are growing, and yeah, a lot of people are working that this tribe, this kind of energy, this kind of being, this kind of life grows. And Ethel is definitely one of the persons who works on that. And I want to try to give my part too. And yeah, you see my age, and hey, it's never too late. There is no too late. There is always a now. And so I go in here, and I hesitated a long time to make a reaction on something Ethel sees or feels, because this is to me actually untouchable. And when I look at her work and what she's doing, then it's even more untouchable, because it's great art. It's great art with an important message in it. And exactly that I felt also again in this concert. To feel her in one room was magic. There were these moments where I was hypnotized, and I was thrown into another world, thrown into another state. I can't explain it. There was no Zurich around me anymore. There was no world around me anymore. There was just this high frequency energy in that room. And it was a big room, of course, but it was full. It was filled with her energy. And then the stage and her on that stage. And to connect with all these things, with the music, the sounds, the tones, the smell, the space. Yeah, I'm sure you know what I'm talking about. And this is something untouchable for me. This is something sacred. And I'm going a place now where I go in there, and I got that suggestion so many times to do a reaction on exactly the ring, the great dark, and proximity to God, that I do it. And I do it because, Ethel goes these places which are challenging. So I do it too. I learned that from her. Cool. Let's start. And once I started, then I'm in, and then we go through. And I don't know what is coming up. I tried a little bit to get something out of this title, and honestly, I must admit that I do, of course, researches on Ethel here and there, and then it showed up that she sees also music or sounds in pictures or colors, and this is this neurodivergent people who see and feel things different. I, for example, a lot of energies I see in pictures. Music is going into actually kind of like whole landscapes, for example. And there are numbers I see in colors. I sometimes I think the green goes there. The green comes after the 2 and is before the 4. So I know green is 3, for example. And then they have all these different shades there. Good. But now come back to Ethel Cain and the ring, the great dark, and proximity to God. I'm very curious. I'm very nervous. I am shaking a little bit in the inside. I hope it will work out what I'm doing here. And because I want to do it, and whatever comes out, I will release it. I will put it on my channel. Yeah, there's nothing to hide. So I decided to do that, so I do it, and I will bring it out. Cool, that's it. Okay, let's start. Yeah, take a deep breath. Feel yourself in this world, the room, the space you are in, your body. How does your body feel right now? What is there? What is not there? And then when you feel your breath, when you feel your weight, when you feel the blood rush through your body, when you also feel the heartbeat inside of the rhythm of your breathing. When it's all there, then come with me on this journey. And if it's not, then maybe you make a pause here already for yourself. Find yourself, be with yourself, connect to yourself and whatever is around you. And then push play again and we go on. I'll be waiting for you. Good. Let's go.
Hi, I'm Hayden Anhedonia, and I am here today to talk about a concept that I created back in March. Around my birthday, about a week before, I was in Toronto, with my dear friend Matt. We were working on a project of mine that I got very close to finishing, and then did finish it, and then decided, oh, I actually hate all of this, and so now I'm overhauling everything. So it is not done like I thought it was, which I shouldn't be surprised about, because with Preacher's Daughter, I finished it about 4 times and then decided, oh wait, I hate all of this, I have to redo everything. So I think I'm starting to fear that this is just part of my process. But anyways, I worked on this song with Matt, and I had a different idea for this song, completely different idea for the song of what I wanted it to be, and it became something incredibly different. But I love what it became. It actually became probably one of my favorite songs I've ever made. And it spurned this thought. Actually, I don't know if I used that word correctly. Spurned is not. I always get this word incorrect. Spurn means reject with disdain or contempt. That is absolutely not what I'm talking about. I'm thinking churned. It but not even churned. It didn't do any of that. It brought forth this idea in my head. Sorry for the little English definition lesson. It created this idea in my head, and I've always tried to describe this feeling since I was younger. I experienced it a little bit when I would listen to great big songs, like especially by Florence and the Machine, obviously my favorite band since I was in high school. And I especially started to feel it when I started smoking weed when I was 18. Right after I graduated high school, I remember it really elevated this feeling that I get. And, I always attribute it to autistic processing of art and whatnot. But I don't know, maybe it's that, maybe it's not. It could really be anything. But I had this feeling, and so I stopped. I was just feeling and I feel this way when I'm driving a lot, which I spend a lot of time in my truck driving and listening to music, especially my own demos. And I was listening to the song. It's about a 6-hour drive from Toronto to Pittsburgh, and I was driving back home, and I was overcome by this feeling. So as soon as I got through the border, I went through Niagara because I've never seen Niagara Falls, and I stopped on the U.S. side of the falls, and I walked to Three Sisters Island, and I stood there. It was freezing cold. The sky was gray. It was so beautiful. I really wish I could relive that moment. It was so beautiful. And I stood there by the water. I hopped over the fence. I stood by the water, and I watched the water rushing. And I had my headphones, and I was listening to the song over and over and over. And I'd been listening to it for at least 3 hours prior. So I was fully immersed in the song and the repetition of it. And I stood by the water, and I looked out, and I thought, this is God. This is what God feels like. I feel so close to God in this moment. And now, I'm not talking about some man upstairs. I mean God. Life, everything around you, the peak of it all. And it inspired me, so I wrote this diagram.
I had to force myself a little bit to pause here, and what I really want to express is how beautiful it is, this invitation from Hayden here, to invite us to follow her thoughts. I love it. And so far it is free of this is not rehearsed. This is maybe not even really planned through. There's something which tells me that there was an impulse, and she followed that impulse, and here is the video. And the sound in the back brings me always again into the connection also of her work, because there were parts in there where I thought, this could also be a song. This sounds in the background, and which are very, very Ethel or Hayden, and her words in it. And it's like to me it starts to mix between this invitation of having a chat with each other, a deeper chat. It is also quite philosophical already, and she goes already quite deeper into her feelings there, and bringing us to already now to proximity to God, in which there is already a definition of what God is for her, this higher thing, this not this one person sitting somewhere and controlling everything, but this growing over into this. This is maybe now my interpretation, but into this higher energy which is in everything. And there was, for a second, there was the word it. She chose to say. I'm not sure where it is, so I'm not going back. And it, to me, it is so many times actually the right expression for divine. This it, which does not define exactly what it is, but it is. And for example, what I really like also to say is like, it is raining. And this is such a, it's not God is raining or some energy or force or whatever makes the rain. It makes the rain. This it is above all attachments. It's above all projections. It's going there. So that I like that. And now this her description about listening for hours and hours. How many times did I do that? How many times did you do that? There are songs I can go a day with the same song repeat in my ears, and it just, I don't know where it puts me, but it puts me somewhere. In a very healing, sacred space. Yeah. Okay. This is now, again, my stuff I add here, which actually I also feel like there's nothing to add on what Hayden says here. It is her treasure she shares with us. And it is beautiful, and I'm absolutely thankful that she does that. I'm sure there is more coming. And I'm already totally thankful for that, and I'm very curious what is coming on. So just to get the line again, I go still here a bit back, and here we go.
And I thought, this is God. Like, this is what God feels like. I feel so close to God in this moment. And now, I'm not talking about some man upstairs. I mean God, like it, life, everything around you, the peak of it all. And it inspired me, so I wrote this diagram. I was driving away from Niagara, and I was overcome, and I had to pull over and draw this diagram. So here's the diagram. I don't know if you can see it. I'm covering this page because there's sensitive information. This is the diagram.
Okay. It's hard to read it.
I'll let you take a moment to screenshot it or read it or take a picture, whatever you want to do.
Take a picture. That's a good idea. Where do we go for the picture here? Sorry, I need to do that. Maybe I don't know how I can bring it in. Oops. the X's I remember the best. Good, here we go.
I'll let you take a moment to screenshot it or read it or take a picture, whatever you want to do. So basically, the ring is a mixing chart. It's a mixing chart. Lord, I'm sorry.
My gosh, I love it. I just love it. I just love it. Oh.
For making music, but it's also a diagram of kind of this concept that I've come up with. So as you can see in the bottom of it, so basically I see the ring as a full spectrum of frequency when listening to music, and it's only, the ring is the spectrum, but it's also when it's finished, when the ring is fully completed, that's when it becomes the ring, the concept, not the ring, the mixing chart. So you see at the bottom we have sub bass, and then at the next increment we have,
I can read it here. I don't know if you see it. So I make this picture really big so you might see it a bit better. And I'm going back a bit. No, I think here it's okay to go on.
have the low guitar, the fuzz guitar, and the fuzz bass. We get a little bit higher. We have the bright electric. We have the rhythm guitar. We have the pad synths. At about the middle, we have the low harmonies. And then we move up to the snare, the high harmonies, the lead guitar. We get further up. We have the bright synth, the high lap steel, the tape hiss ultimately at the top, and then in the center, we have the vocals rising up to the top. Now this is not revolutionary, obviously. You know, everyone has their mixing chart, the way that they see sound. I think most producers have like a way that they visualize what they're mixing when they create. But for me, it also describes when this entire ring is completed, it becomes the ring that I visualize it as, and that moves us forward. You can see up here we have the sigh, so we'll get into that with the next diagram that I drew, which is this right here.
Okay, just one pause here again before we go on. And I go a bit back here. I don't want to, yeah. Maybe I went a bit too far now. Okay. This is amazing. This is cool. This is gives such a picture of, because I was wondering so many times, like it matches for some for some weird reason. It matches there when I'm sitting here and I just relax and have the heads on, and then listening to her music, to her art. Then I feel this, what she calls that the ring, when the ring is complete. So when the whole, and it takes a while, it's not from the first moment on, it takes a while to that I realize it is fulfilled. That's what I call it. So everything has its part, and from here on the journey actually starts. And it is kind of it's kind of like sometimes I get this feeling of, and this is music, it is not that Hayden's music alone does it. I can also experience that with other music. And this ring picture is a beautiful picture. I had always these landscapes, and when the landscape it had everything in it, then whoa, then I could go rise and I would go over this landscape and go in the journey would then start. And gives me an amazing connection to, for example, that how she filled the space in that concert, when every little part, maybe every molecule or atom in that space was filled with this energy and frequency of her art. And then it's full, then it's there. And if something is missing, then this won't happen. It's not going, it's not going anywhere. It leaves me where I am. Can be okay or whatever, and but nothing happens. And this is a beautiful picture now I got here. So she goes on. Yes, I love it. Okay, it's so funny because the base for me, the base are the mountains. I have to say that. So the bass, the lower parts, the rhythm, the drums, percussion. Percussion is already like the forests, these trees, anchored, rooted in the earth. And then the mountains come with this boom. Even if they go high up, there's still this bass thing. And then it goes on with the water, which is in the middle. And the air, which goes then higher, and the clouds are higher, and the stars are higher. And when all this comes to this one picture together, then I guess I am where she is with the ring. Oh, beautiful! I love it. I love it. Oh, let me know yours. What you hear or see or feel in music. Doesn't need to be Hayden's music, or also, of course, her music. Yeah, the most who are listening here know her music, and let me know what you experienced. This is really cool, because of course, each one. I'm sure each one of us has another creativity to observe music, to receive music. Oops, that's my special hairdo. That's the hairdo when I'm fighting with my headphones. Okay.
Comes the ring that I visualize it as, and that moves us forward. You can see up here we have the sigh, so we'll get into that with the next diagram that I drew, which is this right here. You can take a picture.
Yeah, take a picture. I don't know. I will try maybe to bring the picture in, but I think it's also cool to just make the camera bigger. Well, here we go. Great. Thank you for your patience. And now I'm going here, and while she is explaining that, I will keep the picture bigger here. Okay.
Picture of it. So here we have the Great Dark. The Great Dark is how I visualize everyday life, you know, the banality, the muck and the mire of the human experience. Everyone is here. This is where we all live perpetually. We're all in the Great Dark. Now, I think that everyone looks for a ring in their life, in a way. Some seek it out more than others. Some may seek it out knowingly, some may seek it out unknowingly, some may encounter it unknowing what it is, and some people may never experience it. But the ring essentially is a portal of elevation and enlightenment. And not in a hippie yah-yah way, but I think the hippie yah-yah folks may also experience that. But when the ring becomes activated, and for me, this is my personal experience. When the ring is activated through having a full range of frequencies, in sound, the full hertz scale is met. You have your sub bass, you have the high bits, the high frequencies, and everything in between. When everything is there, the ring is fully activated. You have every frequency going on in a song. In certain songs like that, it creates what I call the pull. And it's this pull of your soul. It's when music transcends music and becomes an emotional experience it pulls you out of your body. And the song that I created with Matt became that for me. Many songs from other artists are rings. I would say Cosmic Love by Florence and the Machine, which was my favorite song for years and years and years, is a ring. I would say a classic ring for me in high school was Grand Loves by Purity Ring. Trying to think of other rings. I would say The Culling by Chelsea Wolfe is almost a dark ring in a way. Pedestal by Vera Blue is a ring for me. Songs that just have that full range of frequencies elicit this kind of emotional response in me where it feels like a pull. So then when you start to feel, so when the ring begins to activate, when the song begins, you start to feel the pull. When the song reaches its climax, when the entire spectrum and frequency range is activated or not, it's reached, it's fulfilled, you experience the sigh, or the crest, as I sometimes call it. And it feels like your body and your soul is sighing, like you've been climbing this great wave, and then the song peaks, and it feels like you've just like sighed, like you're just like you've come over this wave into the divine theater. The divine theater being where God resides. It's an enlightened state of mind, of being, euphoria, ecstasy, whatever you want to call it. It's that feeling of enlightenment that you don't feel all the time. And that's where God is, behind the veil. Now, many people.
Before I'm totally deep in there, and I can't. I need to make these pauses so I can put out the words, because it's really hard to find words here. But this description is going really deep for me. This pull, and this I stick now with the ring. So when this ring is there and it fills, and then there is actually this pull. I never realized it as a pull. It was like, but now when I go into that, it is definitely a pull. It shifted me. I always thought, wow, something is shifting me. But there is this taste of desire in it. I always knew a desire of my soul brings me there, or wants me to go there, or bring me there. But it's also a pull. Now where she says that, it's total a yes in my body for that. It is once this ring, or for me, once this landscape is fulfilled, is here, is established, is round, is all that, then there is this pull which pulls me somewhere. And I always connected it with a desire of my soul. And then the thing, as far as I understand English, a sigh is like something like, So I don't know if there is another meaning to this word too, but I love when when she puts that the theater of the divine theater. When you get there, when you finally there where it pulls you, then you have actually you can't put it in words, but you can put it in this and there is nothing more beautiful which can go through your body than this, and it releases everything there is. This is what I felt always when I called these places the sacred places and the healing places. There is a healing in that, and she uses this word, and this is so cool. It never came up in my mind to call like that, like the sigh. But the sigh is such a strong sign of where you are, because you don't do it, your body does it. It's never that you think, so now it's about time to do a sigh. The sigh comes from there where your soul is or where your body is. It's a total different connection than only to the mind. I love it. Thank you. I love to explore these places and explore all these thoughts and creativity. There's so much creativity in it, and Hayden brings me total into new. I don't know. It has this sparkles of enlightenment in it. Not that I'm not enlightened, totally not. I'm far away from it. But here I feel this sparkles of the enlightened light. Okay. Back a bit. So for the
state of mind of being euphoria, ecstasy, whatever you want to call it. It's that feeling of enlightenment that you don't feel all the time. And that's where God is behind the veil. Now, many people have so-called rings, so to speak, in their lives. I think a lot of people can experience them through drugs. Drugs are a great way to experience this. Sex, food, anything that is, I don't want to call it a vice, but maybe you would call it I don't know, it's just one of those things. And if it's in your life and you know what I'm talking about, then you know what I'm talking about. It makes you feel that rise of your soul. So when you experience the pull of that, personally for me through music, I go through the ring and I feel the sigh, the crest at the climax of the song, and I enter the divine theater. You experience what I consider to be the currency of the realm, which is proximity to God. Now, again, I'm not speaking of some mystical Christian God or, even, some mysticism.
There's so much. There's so much, and I can't sort everything out, and I also have to take it in first and process it in me. But what I really can say is, 1 second. So things coming in here. I don't want. It's really hard to keep it there. Because it is this, I call it the silent wisdom. And silent wisdom because we don't have words for it, but there's an amazing wisdom in it. And there are few paths going there. I do see the music is definitely one. That's definitely for sure. Sexuality is definitely one. That's no doubt. Drugs is one sometimes. I'm a bit careful there. Because actually, I'm not sure. I think I have to listen that to the end first before I start to take it apart or to go deeper in here, because she's not finished. And I'm not going, or I try hard not to mix up things with my stuff I bring in here, because as I said before, to me, Hayden's words here, her thoughts, her feelings, her views are untouchable. Yes, nothing to change there. I go on. I'm not going to, I go on. Proximity to God. But this picture I can take already now. This one I can really, this is really beautiful. I will take it with me. He's behind that veil. He's not, we are really close, and it's the realms of God, and we are there, but he's still behind the curtain. This is an interesting one. I hope she goes closer to that one also. I really hope so. Because you can say in one sentence you can say we are divine, we are all divine, we are created by the divine, and at the same time also we are not, because we are humans. So we are and we are not at the same time. And I love this picture. And what did she say? The currency of this realm is proximity to God. Ah, beautiful. I mean, just let that melt on your tongue and let it sink into your soul. And don't understand it, feel it. Feel these realms of being close to God while he still is behind the curtain, but you are still close. Great. Great. Okay. Yes, take a deep breath, and I see my battery of the laptop is coming down. I hope I can make it in this one flow. Otherwise, I have to make a little break here, but I don't want to. So I go back a bit, and here we go.
Personally, for me, through music, I go through the ring and I feel the sigh, the crest at the climax of the song, and I enter the divine theater. You experience what I consider to be the currency of the realm, which is proximity to God. Now, again, I'm not speaking of some mystical Christian God or, even, some mysticism, which it may be for you. Maybe it is that for you. For me, it's not. It's different for everyone. But God, in this sense, is a higher calling. I don't want to say being. I don't want to say that God is anything tangible, but it's not that God has ever been tangible, but something that feels beyond yourself. It's a connection to something greater than yourself. It's becoming one with that around you, that which encompasses you and holds you. It's the euphoria and the ecstasy of feeling spiritually enlightened. And I think everyone experiences that in some way. It's something that, when you've got your headphones on or you're watching a movie that really overwhelms you, something that when you feel something, that thing you can't explain, that elevated, that rise that you get, that's what I consider to be the divine theater, proximity to God. Now, I say that there's a veil because there needs to be a dividing factor between you and God. I think that it's the same as Eve eating the apple from the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. You never want to be one with God. Proximity to God is desirable. I actually wrote it. The desire is to ultimately touch the veil and be flush with God. Tearing through the veil and becoming one with God is an unknown and discouraged experience. I think that becoming one with God, it's ultimately like Kate Blanchett at the end of Kingdom of the Crystal Skull, where she gets the skull, she has the knowledge, she understands, and she floats away into bits of light, because humans are not meant to be God. We're just meant to be flesh with him. And I think that is a beautiful experience. And I crave.
I hear this version of explanation here now the first time, and it's beautiful. I love it. It is. There is this. We are divine. We all are. We all carry this God's energy, whatever that is. Put it wherever in your own mythology, your own cosmos. Put it there where what you feel, where you are, and whatever this word is. And the point is that we are here. I said very simple. I could talk for hours about that. I put it very simple. We are here as humans, created by a force. If it's just a force of nature or a very specific force, but we are in this body, and we are in this world, and we are in here where we make our experiences, and it makes no sense to be here as humans and just go for enlightenment and become God. This is not the point. We cannot mix that up, because then we miss the human part. We miss to become pure humans. And to me, one thing is that it's an amazing challenge, and in the end, a true human is divine. It may be still not one with God, but is divine, because we are here as humans to learn humanity. The day where no children starve to death, nobody dies on a battlefield, then we humans are there where humanity rules the world. That's how I see it. And this is beautiful how actually Hayden puts it down in other words, and there is this, and it makes totally sense to become in, how did she say that? I think she mentioned flesh, to become flesh with God, or in this direction, or this proximity, which is also like a kind of a definition thing. But to me, this proximity goes really, 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 really close, very super close. But it will not make us God. It will not mix that up. The separation stays, and this is good. It is good out of my point of view. I wished I could discuss all these things and talk all these things like straight on. And I really, I tried. I just add my thoughts, and there's an invitation to add that. But I am very impressed the way she helps me to get a new point of view and a new point of feeling in the whole thing. This is a new side of Hayden I get to know here. I'm so thankful that you just did not stop suggesting this video to me to make a reaction on. Here we go.
That often I myself have experienced it through music, primarily through drugs, psychedelics, acid, shrooms, take a bit too much ketamine. You can experience that. I do love my sedatives, and I think that slowing my heart rate and relaxing and whatnot is definitely a way to become one with God. I have definitely been known to take a downer once or twice in my life. I do enjoy them, and that is a way for me to get close to God and to enter the divine theater. There's less of a pull, and it's more of a slow slide into it, but I describe the pull and the ring and the sigh as specifically relating to music for me. But again, people have many rings, people have many portals and entryways into the divine theater. Then we'll move on to the fear. The fear to me is the barrier between the divine theater and the great dark. There is a fear for me personally of entering that some people are more readily willing and enticed by the divine theater to go in. For me, the divine theater is an extremely overwhelming experience, and while it feels good, maybe it's shame, I don't know what it is, but something makes me feel overwhelmed in a not pleasant way when I'm there. So I have a mix of emotions when I'm in the divine theater and feeling that overwhelming euphoria. It's why I can't take any kind of uppers or Molly. That kind of ecstasy and euphoria is a bit too indulgent, and I think it might be shame that or anxiety that prevents me from having that feeling. But it's a bit overwhelming for me. I can't do that in that sense. But
Okay, this part just now here I find so important that I go back here just in the middle, and there's nothing I have to say here. I wanted to hear it again. I go quite a good part back, and about here, yeah, maybe a bit more here, and here I have to stop and I have to load my laptop here, and then I come back and we go on from here. So I explain all these things. You won't realize it because it will just make tick, and then it goes on. But just to say that, of course, why I go back, because I want to listen that again, and I want to relax because my computer just told me that the battery is so low that on one point it just turns off, and I don't want that one. I want to relax. So see you. For me, it's about a half an hour, and for you, it's half a second. Okay, yes, we go on. I'm all set. My technical stuff is also all set, and I allowed myself, because I was reflecting through the whole what I heard already, and I just leaned a little bit further back to the place where she starts to talk about the fear, and this I think is also interesting. Okay, geez, good. The piece with the fear, and I want to go in there and also to pick it up again a bit and deepen it. And here we go, right away. Cool.
Then we'll move on to the fear. The fear to me is the barrier between the divine theater and the great dark. There is a fear for me personally of entering that some people are more readily willing and enticed by the divine theater to go in. For me, the divine theater is an extremely overwhelming experience, and while it feels good, maybe it's shame, I don't know what it is, but something makes me feel overwhelmed in a not pleasant way when I'm there. So I have a mix of emotions when I'm in the divine theater and feeling that overwhelming euphoria. It's why I can't take any kind of uppers or Molly. That kind of ecstasy and euphoria is a bit too indulgent, and I think it might be shame that or anxiety that prevents me from having that feeling. But it's a bit overwhelming for me. I can't do that in that sense. But you know, the divine theater.
I want to go into this overwhelming part. I'm not exactly on a certain point. I can go with how Hayden explains her side. I realize in this, I do experience this overwhelming, and what is mine, what happens there for me, to me, and this is mine also, and that There's actually a fear of losing myself, of losing. Maybe it's even a theme about control, because once I reach these realms of the side, the crest, there where we are close to God, or close. Sometimes I say also close to the heartbeat of life, there where it really happens. These are words describing all the same, and there I have, it can overwhelm me when I kind of like what she said about Kate Blanchett in, I think, in a movie when she has the crystal skull and she is there and she can, and when then she, I didn't see the movie, I don't know what's in there or in this story. I will watch it for sure. But once you are there, she was not ready for it, or it was not meant, it is not meant to be there because we cannot handle it. And this is exactly what I feel there, that I'm coming close to something I cannot handle and I lose myself there, and I might not recognize myself anymore because this something is there which is so much bigger than I am, so much bigger. All I can be is there in my humbleness in there. And we have a Demut is the German word for it. I have to find the English word for it. And in which I just can give myself in because it is so much bigger than me. And if I really, really, really dissolve into that, and it kind of has this taste of enlightenment, and I might disappear into, I don't know where. I don't know. But there's my fear with, this is that line. I love that she did it there, because this is not just like, yeah, let's go. It's for some people it seems to be, yeah, let's go there and enjoy it and all, and so, and which brings me also to the drugs, psychedelics, which help to go there, and definitely. But yeah, as I said before, I want to listen to that to the end first. Good, cool. That's that's for now. So let's go on. Yeah.
Theater is very beautiful, but proximity to God is terrifying. It's, when God says, fear of God is just as important as loving Him, and it is a fear. It's the dichotomy of proximity to God, is the fear and love of something. Sometimes things that are very good, overwhelmingly good.
This brings me to the idea that we can also say God is everything, and in this everything we are a part. So when we as a part start to realize the everything, the whole, from that little place of our part, then of course there is fear. There must be fear, because it goes into this overwhelming, and overwhelming is a place in which you don't control things anymore. Beautiful. I must say, because to me, the divine and God and the Creator is all love and beauty and light. And I never really realized how much fear also plays within there. And now here, listening to Ethel, I realize, yes, the fear is there too. The fear to face this huge thing above me, around me, which involves everything, and I am just a part of it. And in my part, I can understand my part. But it's another story to get the whole, and that's why this theater of diva. I love it. I love that word, that title. The theater of the divine. This is exactly the place in which becomes both like the place we can reach, but it is not total symbiotic with God, but we are as close as possible, and it's already a very deep, deep, deep healing place and sacred place. Good. Good, 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 good.
Or just that overwhelming, and I can't do that all the time. So people who I think some people have a higher capacity for it. For me, it's a treat. It's not a meal. But I do enjoy my time there, and I think it's very beautiful and overwhelming. But you know, I'm sorry, my train of thought just crashed. I was wondering if this video is going to automatically flip or not. Nope, it does not. I'm gonna have to flip it. Okay, well, I'm so sorry. My train of thought is gone this morning. So that's this. Again, to wrap up the fear segment of what I'm talking about. A lot of people, I think, are afraid to enter the divine theater for good reason. It is a bit overwhelming. And so I think that's what divides us from being there all the time, because I think that too much of a good thing is a bad thing. And being here all the time, I think you would lose touch with reality, and it would be harder to communicate with people who live in the great dark, which is the majority of us. I live in the great dark every day. It's, the general state of kind of confusion and anticipation, anxiety of the future, which is healthy. You need to be grounded. Grounded is good. Being grounded is good for the majority of your life. You don't want to be up in the clouds all day, up in the divine theater, rolling around in ecstasy.
I'm so happy she's saying that now, because the thing is not that we are here in the dark and the big goal is to come close to the divine and leave the dark. The theater of divine is here, and the dark is here, and the fear is here, and the enlightenment is here, and the search for it, and the desires and the fears and the joy is here. That's all here at the same time. So if we don't, like it, to me, it connects back to the circle. If these things are not all with the circle, within the circle, with the circle, in the circle, then the circle is not full. So if we just go for the one part, then without the other part, the circle will not be. So I can make a connection there, and I hope if Ethel would if Hayden would hear that she rather would go like instead of my fear. Let's go. A bit back again. I need to have these sentences and then go on.
Confusion and anticipation, anxiety of the future, which is healthy. You need to be grounded. Grounded is good. Being grounded is good for the majority of your life. You don't want to be up in the clouds all day, up in the divine theater, rolling around in ecstasy every day. Sometimes you got to get stuff done. You got to go to work. You got to be a real person. And so, the great dark it's not as bad as it sounds. So on the flip side, we have the whole. Jokes aside, the whole is, I love to go there. I love to go, whenever I joke with my friends and say, oh, winter's coming, I'm going to throw blankets over the windows and go into the hole. I'm in my hole. It's what I always describe as being in this place of darkness and kind of despair, wallowing, self-pity, misery, all those fun things, which I think is fine to go into from time to time, as long as you're not staying there, which is why I've written, one can venture into the hole, but will enter a perpetual sinking. if one neglects to exit in time, they will enter the maze and become stuck forever. When you enter the hole, you are basically entering a period and a point of darkness, overwhelming darkness, which is fine, but when you're in it, you will enter a state of perpetual sinking where you go deeper and deeper. You can never just remain where you are in it. You will go deeper and deeper. Darkness is inviting, and it will continue to pull you down. So you can go, and I think that there's a lot to be found in the hole. There's inspiration, there's answers to maybe the dark questions of yourself. What are you afraid of? Why are you afraid of it? You know, and I think that's important to know about yourself. I think it's an important place to go every now and then. I don't think that you need to invite people to your pity party if you know that you're throwing it. If it's a conscious decision that you make to go into a dark place, like I choose to do often because I enjoy it, and I think that dark, places are comforting sometimes, to be in a nest or a cave, or, well, not a cave. I'm not a fan of caves, but everybody has that place that they go in their head where, they love to feel like bad. Sometimes you just want to feel bad, and that sounds counterproductive, but life isn't about feeling good all the time. Sometimes you want to feel bad. You need to feel bad. Grieving and depression, all those places are kind of natural things that are
I have to pause here, and this is so beautiful, the way she says that, and this is something I realized in her work anyway. And to me now, the whole here to this whole picture and everything she said up to now makes the whole thing really, really round. It's not the dark. First, I took the dark space as that, but the dark space is a great. It's a great title for the everyday reality, and everything is reality on that paper, on what she puts down. Everything is reality, but the one in which we have the majority of our lives. There is a lot of sleeping, a lot of functioning, a lot of automatisms, a lot of patterns, a lot of imprints we got from culture, from socialization, and all these things. And then there is the way out to the divine, which grows over that, and then there is the whole. And what a relief for me, because I did have a break in this channel. I took a break from doing reactions, and it was not only from the channel, it was with everything, also with my work, what I do, and with most friends of mine. And I pull back. I go into this hole, and I am very conscious about it. And I can just sign each word she says, because this whole is serious. This whole is not only a comfort zone, as the theater of the divine is also not only a comfort zone. Where the comfort zone really is in the end, and where the enlightenment is in the end, I don't know. Maybe it comes here, but they are not comfort zones, and it takes my consciousness to go there, and I need to tell myself I am in the hole now, and it pulls me down. And if I lose it, I won't. It is exactly the feeling she put down in words. To me, it kind of just circles downwards into a darkness, and the darkness becomes like water. It is just dark. It's not water, but it's dark, and it becomes like water. So I will drown in there if I'm not getting myself out of it after a certain while. Brings me back to alchemy, that everything has its limits, its measurements, its what is too much, what is too low, not enough, and to find this middle thing. And it also goes with psychedelics. And here I feel she did not put it down in words now, and I don't want to project anything here, but the way I understood also this part with the drugs, psychedelics, to get close to God, it is a way to get close to God if you do it for this, if you do it as a ceremony, as a ritual, as a conscious ceremony to go to God. And then it handshakes with the deeper belief of the shamans. They use forces from the plants to reach something which helps them, or even more, which brings healing and sacredness into this world. I can connect that out of the words she's using, because as she said before, these realms of the divine are not only comfort zone, and it is a decision, it is a conscious decision to go there and to be aware of what you're doing, and the same with the psychedelics. So there are people, they have total fun, and there are a lot of people, they take all these things for fun. They don't even have a real reason except feeling good and get rid of all what there is in life. And this is, that's not, then you don't meet the true force, the true spirit of these substances, mostly plants behind it. And I just wanted to say that these psychedelics are taken in a ritual with a lot of consciousness and a goal and a sense behind it, because you want to get something, if it's healing or if it is coming close to God or close to the spirits or close to life. Great. Then I can go totally with Hayden. Yes, let's go on. Soon finished. No. Okay, here.
Like I choose to do often because I enjoy it, and I think that dark, places are comforting.
This is the thing. I pulled back. I stopped all activities. I went totally conscious into my room, closed the windows. Everybody from the outside would say, yeah, definitely depression. The point is that the depression came not like a monster and took over. I went into the depression. It was my decision. So I know, I always have this feeling of, because I went there, I know the way back. If it comes and just takes me and throws me on the ground and I'm total helpless, then I don't really know what happened to me, and I'm really helpless. And this is the difference. This is the other way. And actually, this place, this hole, became a place of power, a place of force. I can use it. I can load up energy in there, in all the fear, in all the danger that it also can go deeper into the hole in which I might not get out. And at the same time, I can come out stronger. So far, I came out stronger, but only on my awareness, on my watching myself closely and finding answers also. I go and try to find out What are my fears? What are my obstacles? What keeps me back? What sabotages me? Yeah. With Hayden, this is not just like a walk in the park. It's a walk deep into the heart of life.
Sometimes to be in a nest or a cave, or, well, not a cave, I'm not a fan of caves, but, you know, everybody has that place that they go in their head where, you know, they love to feel like bad. You know, sometimes you just want to feel bad. And that sounds counterproductive, but, you know, life isn't about feeling good all the time. Sometimes you want to feel bad. You need to feel bad. Grieving and depression, all those places are kind of natural things that are okay to be in. You just can't stay there forever. So you have to be conscious of that, which is why I say you will enter perpetual sinking. You can be there, but you can't be there forever, because eventually you will sink down into what I call the maze. The maze is a place of wandering, of extreme confusion, of unreality, a detachment from reality, which is not a good place to be. I don't see people leaving the maze. It's a place of extreme confusion and delusion. You know, I've known people in my life close to me who have been lost to what I describe as the maze, people who no longer are in touch with reality, and it's terrifying, and it's hard for them, it's hard for everyone around them. It's very sad, and it's not a place that you want to be. It's not a place that I want to go ever, which is why I have to keep myself in check when I'm throwing a pity party and wallowing in depression and all the negative aspects of the psyche. You have to be careful, because you don't want to dip into something you can't come back from. Some people it's voluntary, some people it's involuntary. You know, some people have an obsession with the dark that takes them down there. Some people, you know, maybe through mental illness beyond their control, they sink into a place that's terrifying and that they can't get out of, and it's just not a good place. But it exists, and yeah, that's why it's on there as the maze. But at the bottom I have, we all are wanderer. We are all wanderers in the great dark. We all strive to invoke the ring. And maybe not all of us, but I feel like a good deal of us. But yeah, that's my little diagram about music and enlightenment and depression and my mental state at the moment. It's kind of how I see things. You know, it's fun to kind of put things into words sometimes. I think it helps you kind of understand things better. And that's just how I personally process my life, the world around me, things like that, what I'm up to, what I'm doing. I've been growing my nails out. They're very long. They're my natural nails. They're very long. I like them. But yeah, I've had that thought on my mind for a little while, and I kind of wanted to talk about it. And share that with you guys. I might make another video about it at some point in the future, when maybe I kind of add to the diagram or come up with some more components for it and whatnot. But yeah, thank you so much for watching. Speaking of other parts, I promise part 2 of the Art Books tour will be coming. I'm excited. I just have to unpack them. They're literally in a box, like right over there. But I have to unpack them, and then I'll read them and you know, whatnot. But whatnot. I guess whatnot is my word of the day. But yeah, that's coming soon. I promise I'm going to film it. I haven't forgotten about it. But yeah, thank you so much for watching. I hope you guys have a great day, and I will see you next time. Bye-bye. Hi.
Oops. Yeah. Thank you, Hayden, for that. Really, thank you so much. And I loved to watch it, and I appreciate so much what you give us. And I think I said the most things in here, and in the end, to me, it connects totally back to her work in which she goes these places and she's not avoiding any of these places, which others or others with. And I'm not meaning. I'm not talking about artists and stuff, or even singers or songwriters and all that, but I mean like the majority of people who hang on all these imaginations and all these things they think it should be that I can be happy. Because then you try to put yourself in a fake realm of divine and keep happy, because when you're there, of course you're happy. So you can pretend that you are. You can make it instead of let it happen. And to talk about also her depression and talk about her whole and the pity party. I will keep that one. This is great. This is great. I have a name now for that when I pull back, and it's the pity party, and it is good. It really helps me. It really purifies me. It is a part in which I realize I don't have to hold it anymore. I don't have to make up something. I can go in there and give myself into the whole sadness and wrongness of the world. And I'm in the middle and I have to endure what happens all around and happens to me, and just flow away in there. And it's cool, it's purifying, but the point is also it's the alchemy. Know when to step out, because what the divine wants from us is ground, roots, feel reality, be in reality, realize reality. So this is now my little bit mine, and inspired by Hayden. And I also feel that with so many songs from her, so many of her work, I realize that I come out of this now here with new thoughts, new impulses, new goals, and new motivation to rethink life, rethink divine, rethink myself, to kind of to create everything new, to invent everything new, to invent life new, and to invent myself in there new, to open up these things. Because inventing myself new, to me, it also goes to the realms of the divine, or the theater of the divine. Theater of the divine is even better, and the whole. These are the two places where the creativity and energy is to invent your life again new, and discover new, and create new. What a journey. What a journey. And to me, that was also a song. This was also song. This was also music. And I hear the music still back there, and I hear actually also the sound of her voice, and there are words in there. And what I will do is I will lie down again and I will listen to it again I will have my eyes closed. Just listen and don't understand what she's saying. Just go with the voice, the energy, the background sound, and to experience Hayden in a new way. Wow. Thank you, Hayden, for this one. Thank you all for being here. To be with me, it helps. It really helps to know that you are out there and with me. And yeah. Take care. Watch yourself. Let yourself be pulled into the theater of the divine. Allow yourself also to go into the whole. Allow yourself also to ground and root in reality, in the dark side, in the dark space. And everything belongs to it. Everything is here. And it's good not to take some parts out and put it away, because then you break the ring. Oh, great. Thank you. See you soon. I am so ready to go on with Ethel Cain.